Today, let's talk about one of the big traps that we see businesses fall into all too often: strategy versus tactics. Let's build it. For most businesses wanting to get to that next level, they know that they have to harness digital. They need to get up to speed with it. They need to know what to do. SEO, SEM, PPC, Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram, landing pages, websites, all of these individual things we've heard of, but we struggle to pull the trigger on any of them as business owners. And when we do test out a tactic or two, typically they don't work the way that we intended, or we fail to get the results that we thought we would. And that's because we didn't begin with strategy. Tactics are fun, aren't they? They're new, they're exciting, they're like hot little silver bullets that we can just fire off. But firing any bullet without knowing where we're aiming or why we're aiming there isn't going to end well for anyone. People jump into tactics before strategy because tactics feel self-contained. They feel like little nuggets that we can look at, we can grasp, we can understand, we can look above and below them, and we can make some sort of sense of them. Whereas strategy, for a lot of us, feels like it's ethereal. We're not sure where it starts or ends, or what it entails, or what's actually involved in creating a marketing strategy for 12 months of our business across all digital platforms, or for a single campaign. What I want to share with you today are the 3 core parts of strategy to really demystify it, make it simple, and make it easy for you to start thinking strategically before you start jumping in and potentially wasting a lot of money on tactics. Digital strategy is simply your plan. It's the plan you're going to create and follow to achieve the aim that you're looking for inside of your business. Well, I like to break it down into 3 areas. We have our vision or our goal, the transformation we want to create. Then we need to diagnose the problems that are stopping us from getting there. And then with those 2 clear things in mind, we're able to plan our attack. We're able to plan out what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, the tactics that we're going to use. So let's dive into those. So let's talk about vision. Before you start thinking about taking any sort of action, understand what it is that you're trying to achieve. That's simply all your vision is. You're currently here and you want to be there. What is that distance? What does it look like? Why do you want to get to that next level? What is it that you're trying to achieve? Have a really clear understanding of it and go beyond just, I want to grow my business and get more customers. Because if you go a little bit deeper, you'll realize, well, why do you want that? Is it to improve lifestyle? Is it to bring more people into the business? Is it to remove yourself as a business owner from certain labors and tasks and hire new talent in? There's all sorts of reasons for why you want to do what you're doing. What does growth look like inside of your business? That's really your vision. And you're going to reverse engineer everything else to make sure that it's always on point to achieving that vision. So with your vision in place, you need to then start diagnosing, well, why isn't that vision being attained right now? Why haven't you already made that transformation? What's stopping you? Is it missing skills within the business, missing expertise? Or are you missing some tools? Are you missing some sort of capability? What's going wrong? What is missing that's stopping that transformation from taking place? And once you understand those 2 things, you've got a very clear vision, where you're trying to get to. You understand what's stopping you from getting there. That's when you start planning, which is the 3rd foundational part of any strategy. Basically, this is the who, what, when, why, how. And this is where tactics comes in. And because you're now making decisions about tactics based on what you're trying to achieve, your vision, and what's missing in your business through diagnosis, now you're able to actually evaluate tactics properly. You're not thinking about how to apply the tactic for the sake of applying the tactic. You're able to look at it and say, can Facebook advertising help shore up this deficit in my business to help me achieve this vision? And that's a much better way to approach tactics, and will stop you from wasting a lot of money. And it'll mean that you're only engaging in tactics that can actually provide a positive return on your marketing investment. While we're talking about the 3 fundamental parts of any strategy, large or small, I want to take a moment to just talk a little bit about data. We hear data and the word mentioned a lot, particularly around business and particularly around digital, but it can be overwhelming or confusing about, well, what does that mean? What are we actually talking about? How do I need to apply it in building my business through digital marketing? And here's a really easy way to start thinking about data in the context of designing your strategy. With your vision laid out, you understand where you are and where you want to go. Well, firstly, start asking yourself about, well, what do I know about that? What data do I have available to me right now? If your vision is based around increasing revenue or increasing the number of customers that you onboard in a certain time period, if that's your goal, then what do you know about your customer acquisition process so far? How many customers do you have? How many customers, if you did nothing else, would you expect to come into the business in the whatever time period you're looking for, say the next year or so? How many people do you typically have to talk to? How many prospects or buyers do you have to talk to in order to attain a single customer? There are a whole bunch of data points that you actually already know, even though you might not realize it, that can then help you to plan out your digital marketing to attain the vision that you have, to achieve your goal. Similarly, then, when you're planning out your steps, your action steps, which you're actually going to do after you've diagnosed your current state, is think about what's the data that you're going to be able to actually pull out of this strategy. What will you know at the end of it that you don't know right now? And this is going to start informing what you should be measuring, how you'll tell if your marketing has been successful or not, but fundamentally, you'll also understand why you're measuring those things. So whether you're engaging a full service agency to handle an entire part of your digital marketing from start to finish, or whether your budget means that you actually need to play a little bit of a project management role and hire individual service providers for different tactics, having a sound understanding of your strategy and at least the vision part of it will mean that you're able to confidently communicate what it is that you're trying to achieve to those service providers, evaluate your marketing efforts, and get useful data out of the end of any activity or plan that you follow. Okay, so today we've talked a lot about the difference between strategy versus tactics, and while I totally understand how attractive tactics can be and how each little one can really feel like it'll solve a big problem, I implore you always to start with strategy first. Just follow those simple 3 steps. Understand your vision. Where do you want to go? What's the transformation you need to create? Where do you want to get to? And why do you want to get there? Then jump into some diagnosis. Understand what's stopping you from getting there right now. What skills are you missing? What expertise are you missing? Are there any problems inside of the business itself, inside of your current processes that are actually outside of the realm of marketing? Understand what's going on first, and then plan your attack. Plan out what you're going to do, when, who's going to do it, what tactics you're going to use, and evaluate your choice of tactics based on how it will help you shore up any deficit that you've diagnosed or achieve the vision that you've set out at the beginning of your strategy. Always work backwards. And of course, to make sure that you get all of our content going forward, where we dive into more subjects like this and many more to help you build it with digital marketing, make sure to follow us in all of the different places.